Are you considering walking the Camino de Santiago? This is the story behind and about my first Camino. In the summer of 2010, my father-in-law, Reidar Kjell Andreasen, went on his 10th pilgrimage on the Camino de Santiago Frances. At Christmas the same year, he showed me many pictures from his pilgrimages and told me about them. He also brought with him a couple of books about the Camino de Santiago, which I read with great interest in the month after Christmas. He started walking after retiring at the age of 62 in 1999. Since his first pilgrimage in 2000, he has walked almost every year except during the pandemic. In the summer of 2021, he walked his 20th Camino, 84 years old. According to his own statement, this is one of the best things I have done in life. And when I ask him why he is walking, the answer is, I walk to find out why I walk. There is something about being a pilgrim that cannot be explained. In March 2011, I decided to walk part of the Camino Frances, and since I had 14 days off from work, I decided to walk from Astorga to Santiago. I work as a priest in the Church of Norway, and I had heard and read several times about pilgrimages, and of course about the way to Santiago de Compostela. But I had never considered going myself. Actually, I looked at walking such a long distance as madness. At that time, I was not interested in walking or running. But I had been playing soccer since I was 7 years old, and I was in relatively good physical shape. However, walking 260 kilometers in 11 days with stages up to 30 kilometers was something completely different than soccer. I therefore decided to train before the trip. The last month before I left, I walked between 5 and 30 kilometers every day in the mountains around Narvik. There are many beautiful hiking trails here, but Rallarveien from Riksgrensen to Rombaksbotn is my favorite. I recommend this if you are once in northern Norway. The trip is 16 kilometers. Then you also get to experience a spectacular train journey to the starting point, and the hike ends by boat back to Narvik. Most days I walked 8 to 10 kilometers, but I also had to try a few longer days. I also chose to walk a few days with an 8-kilo backpack to see if I could do it. I started packing a week before leaving. I followed the packing list in a book, and in the end the backpack weighed almost 9 kilos. When I started walking, I noticed that it was a couple of kilos too much. Early Sunday, May 1st, I boarded a plane from Evenes Airport. At the airport in Oslo, I met my father-in-law, and we traveled together to Astorga, via Madrid and Oviedo. The last part to Astorga went by taxi. The next day we started what turned out to be a wonderful and memorable trip. When we walked in towards Santiago on May the 12th, I could look back on 11 days with almost only good memories. A couple of blisters that had to be fixed along the way, and that I had to go backwards for large parts of the last 2 stages due to osteomyelitis did not matter with the overall impression from the trip. And even before I got to the cathedral, I had decided to go back to walk the entire Camino Frances. Since then, I've been on the Camino Frances 7 times. For me, a special love started with this trip in 2011. Now I travel back every year, and the Camino de Santiago has become a place where I recharge my batteries and get inspiration, both for my personal development and for me as a priest. Do you feel that the Camino is calling you? Do not hesitate. Do it. Walk. You must not walk all the way either. You can, like me, on my first Camino, walk the last 260 kilometers from Astorga. Or you can walk 5 stages, 116 kilometers from Sarria to Santiago. Also remember that it is not a right way to be a pilgrim. Pilgrim means stranger. We are all strangers in life, in meeting with God, in meeting with the Camino, in meeting nature, in meeting all those we meet on our way of life. Find your own way and buen camino.